Hi guys, welcome to Crypto Insight. In these videos, I give you a rundown of what's happening in large cap crypto, and in particular, the options and volatility space. I started trading crypto options in 2020 after spending 20 years trading equity derivatives professionally. It's been a lot of fun trading the massive volatility in Bitcoin and Ethereum. And I can tell you as a vol trader, the markets with the most opportunity to make money are those that know how to move. I will give you the insight of my trading and experience and how I'm reading the options market flows and positioning my own book to trade the opportunities in the space. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel if you like these videos, and hit the notification bell to see these weekly videos as they are released. Thanks a lot and enjoy the video. Crypto. Where are things in crypto this week? So obviously last week was a rip-roaring week. Markets kind of took out that key level in the mid 30s, ripped higher into the low 40s. We thought the crypto bull market was back on. Unfortunately, we tried to break 42 at the weekend, seemed to fail. And now we're in consolidation mode again, right? So if you look here, if we go to that local top at around 42,600 from that local bottom around 29, we're in consolidation, and we've got, all our key fib levels are between 34.5 and 37,500, right? So we've got a nice big band there of potential support, which hopefully, market can kind of consolidate and find a bit of a base from. But for now, we're in consolidation, and we haven't really managed to take out that level around that 42 area in any meaningful way, right? So that's kind of where we are in Bitcoin. And it makes sense, right, that there should probably be some taking profit given the rally that we've had for any short-term tactical buyers around those key support zones. So, you shouldn't be overly surprised that we didn't just smash through 42 on the first test, right? So that's kind of where we are in Bitcoin spot. Ethereum, has been doing pretty well as well. So it had a key resistance at 2,400, took it out, reached a local top of around 2,700. It's not bad, 10% through the level. And now it's consolidating, right? So back to 25. So it's a volatile animal. That's why it trades on 100 vol. 24 should probably act as support on the way down now. Obviously, I like to look at the spread between ETH and Bitcoin. That was looking pretty good yesterday. It was approaching this key sort of down sloping resistance. And if it took that out, we could have gone to the races, but that seems to have failed on that test there. So it's pulled back quite decently off that level. But like I say, this thing's pretty volatile, right? So you could argue that's a bit of a minor blip. For me, I was still waiting for this kind of London hard fork and EIP upgrade to happen, to see what the price action is after that and how the market digests that actually going through. So I wouldn't be aggressively selling or overwriting against ETH right now. I still think the breakout potential is there. From a technical standpoint, it's potentially got some fundamental backing to it. We've also seen, some large transactions going up in Ethereum in terms of call option buying as well, and some big blocks being moved around as well on the chain. So arguably, the catalyst is there still. I wouldn't do anything in the face of it right now. If you've got your ETH exposure, if you've got your calls and they don't expire until end of August, end of September, you've got plenty of time to leave that alone and let it play out for now, which is kind of what I'm doing. Yeah. What else has been going on? So obviously on this recent rally, what did the vol market do in crypto? Basically, you finally, for the first time in a while, you saw crypto vol move up on the rally, right? So if we look at what the term structure has kind of done. From a week ago. So you can see that, whereas you had really short-term, like 1 week stuff around 70 vol, low 70s, that's now popped back to the low 80s. So it's actually a very flat curve that we've got right now. So you've seen gamma catch a bid as we've kind of moved higher, right? So, whereas before when we were in the bear mode and markets were nervous of a crash lower, every time we got an uptick in spot, front end would get hit, right? You finally turned that you've reached the inflection point where now we're at a level where as we break higher in spot, vols are reacting positively, basically, right? And that's an interesting turn of events, right? So that's signaling the options market is thinking that the actual breakout risk now is starting to look much more to the upside than the downside, which is why vols catching a bid as we trade higher. That's also confirmed when you look at things like Skew, right? So if you look at Skew across a multitude of timeframes, the Skew is very much favoring the calls, right? So all of these Skew metrics, whether it's 7-day, 30-day, 60-day, or sorry, 90-day or 180-day, you can see even the 7-day stuff has gone slightly for calls, right? 1 vol over for calls. You've got 3 or 4 vols over on the 1 month. You've got 7 vols over for calls on the 3 month, and the 6 month is like 12 vols over, right? So clearly a massive shift towards calls right now. Clearly a lot of these were still in call territory anyway, but you can see they're generally drifting more towards calls. That Skew is getting more negative, which is basically calls trading over. All right. So a confirmation from the options market that yes, the risk of large moves in crypto is moving away from the downside and moving towards the upside. Who knows if the option market will turn out to be right on that, but that's what it seems to be signaling basically right now. So that's kind of what Skew's saying and what vol is saying. Option volumes have picked up as well on this rally. So we had seen general declines in option volumes as the market was more bearish for the last few months. We've seen a decent uptick in options volumes. There's been a decent amount of call buying and call spread buying. Particularly, we saw buyers of Bitcoin call spreads in August last week. We also saw a big September trade go up, quite a punchy trade. A September 64,000, 120,000 1/5 call ratio, where the guy was buying the 64s and selling 5 times the others. Not really the sort of trade I would do to go long the market, to be honest, because it's one of those trades where the optics look good, but if you get a rally that's too quick, you can go from being right in your view to being wrong in your trade and losing money when you don't want that, right? You don't want your directional view in the underlying to be bang on, but because you got your timing a bit wrong and it went too fast, you ended up losing money, right? So that's probably why I think a 1/5 ratio is pretty damn aggressive. Generally, if I'm doing call ratios, I'm probably not going to go more than 1/2. But 1/5 is a little bit nuts to me, to be honest. Not one that I would be recommending, to be honest. Yeah. So that's kind of the flows that we were seeing. Ethereum, if we have a look at how the Ethereum surface is kind of evolving, obviously the vols have been trading about 20 vols over Bitcoin, between 15 and 20 vols over Bitcoin. If you look at the term structure here and what it's done over the last week, very little change. The whole curve is kind of parked at around 95 to 100, where the Bitcoin curve's parked at around 80, right? So that's spread pretty consistent and the curve pretty flat there. But you can see the super short dated stuff is at a bit of a premium because ETH has started to gain some momentum in this latest move higher, where it started to outperform and it broke through that 24 level. So people are like, obviously want to own a bit of that super short dated gamma because that's working right now, basically. Right. Yeah, I mean, my view is kind of unchanged there. I was using the call versus call switch as a way of getting exposure to a potential move up in ETH. That trade mark to market, that trade has made a little bit of money, but it's not done anything dramatic because we obviously shifted down in both assets and now we're getting the reflation of both assets. But for me to really kick into some meaningful delta, I would need to see Ethereum go through 3,000 over the next couple of weeks, and then I would kick into some real delta on that trade and start to make some good money on that trade. Right now, it's pretty nothing done, to be honest. Yeah. Okay, and that's kind of it. I mean, in terms of the on-chain stuff, nothing really conclusive to talk about. Still seeing volumes going off exchanges, which at the margin is probably a bullish thing. Seeing some realized profits being taken on-chain, and just seeing general transaction volumes picking up, basically, right? Which is arguably a good thing. You know, when there's more activity, there's more interest, there's more adoption, that type of thing, right? Maybe some bigger players. Clearly, you know, if you've been following Real Vision and the kind of things that Raoul Pal talks about, he says every conversation he's had with an Insta over the last 6 months, they want to buy Bitcoin, but some of them are waiting for price confirmation. You could argue now that we've kind of looked like we might have bottomed out, any sort of positive momentum in price may bring on some more institutional type buying, which could be a fuel for some kind of rally, right? So that's something to be aware of and something to kind of look for in terms of what goes on in terms of volumes and how much activity is going on, to get that confirmation that bigger players are entering the space rather than all of us retail monkeys basically are trading relatively small size, right? And that's kind of it, really. That's kind of it for me. So nothing really changed. Some of you guys obviously have been looking at systematically selling condors and things like that to earn premium out of these crazy high vols. Yeah, you know, I sold some put spreads on Ethereum, as you know, from those of you who are subscribers. I sold the 16-14 put spreads in Ethereum a while back at kind of when we were testing that 1800 area, sort of middle of July. And you know, I've covered it. I sold it around 54 points. It was 200 point wide put spread, and covered it around 17 last week. Obviously, it would have gone even cheaper if I had held on. But once I took 70% of the premium out of the trade and it had about a month left to go, I didn't see the point in keeping it. It was not like I would ever enter a fresh trade with that risk reward on with a month to go. So I kind of unwound it. And the idea being that if we were to get another move down, I've got the ammunition to sell more things and put the trade on again, different strikes, maybe different risk reward, but that's how I like to play it. I'm not short any calls right now in Ethereum. If anything, I'm long them because of that call switch, but I'm not doing any overwriting in Ethereum right now. You know, overwriting in Bitcoin maybe makes a bit more sense because that 42 levels seems to be rejected, and maybe there's not as immediate a catalyst for Bitcoin. But me personally, full disclosure, I'm not selling any calls right now. I've been short put spreads. I've covered them. I'm kind of waiting at the moment to see if this kind of rally has got a bit more legs on it. So then I can opportunistically sell at a better level, basically, right? I'm kind of happy to wait and be a bit patient right now. Yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like this content, please subscribe to our channel, give the video a thumbs up, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos. I'd also encourage you to sign up for a free trial to our live and interactive Macro Insight Zoom call. As part of our trading community, as well as the call, you'll also get access to our Telegram chat and our weekly market reports. To find out more, you can also connect with us on the socials. All the links are at our website, www.options-insight.com. Thanks.